So, is the AI bubble popping or is it just getting real? Welcome to The Explainer, everyone. Today, we're exploring a massive, undeniable inflection point in our source material. You know that hype machine from the past few years? Well, it's slowing down. But the actual structural integration of artificial intelligence into our world, it is moving faster than ever. Welcome to May 2026, the exact moment where AI has officially stopped being a shiny little experiment and started becoming the concrete foundation of our future. Our focus today is on a major paradigm shift, AI as essential global infrastructure. We're going to look at how AI has rapidly, and I mean rapidly, become embedded into the very systems governing our everyday lives. We're talking a massive convergence across critical areas like consumer electronics, social media safety, and medical diagnostics. This isn't just about faster chatbots anymore. It's about the invisible architecture running the globe. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap. We'll unpack the May 2026 inflection point, check out the physical cost of all this infrastructure, move into the new era of evaluation, look at some wild breakthroughs in key sectors, and wrap up with AI sovereignty and regulation. Let's get to it. First up, Section 1, the May 2026 inflection point, from hype to reality. We are officially moving past the novelty phase. Just asking for a faster model or a bigger context window. That's old news. As researchers over at Stanford's Human-Centered AI Institute perfectly framed it, we are transitioning from the era of evangelism straight into the era of evaluation. Before 2025, it was all about pulling rabbits out of magic hats, asking, can AI even do this? Now, the focus is entirely on the clipboard. The rigorous questions for 2026 are, how well does it do it? At what cost? And for whom? We are seeing a long overdue focus on actual utility. It's got to justify its own existence now. Moving on to Section 2, the physical cost of AI and its infrastructure constraints. Now, this shift from hype to reality is being forced by the very real physical grounding of this technology. Just look at this staggering number, 4.2 to 6.6 billion cubic meters. According to World Bank projections, that is the estimated annual water demand for AI data center cooling by 2027. To put that into perspective, that is literally 4 to 6 times the entire annual water consumption of Denmark, the whole country. Let that sink in. This isn't just a rounding error on a corporate balance sheet. It's a massive resource allocation puzzle playing out on a global scale. And this brings us to a really fascinating paradox. Infrastructure scarcity is actually acting as a massive forcing function for engineering discipline. If you're a developer or an engineer tuning in, the signal here is incredibly practical. Optimizing isn't just about reducing latency or saving a few bucks on compute anymore. Energy and water efficiency, those are now first-class deployment concerns. We're seeing a massive acceleration in memory-efficient algorithm research simply because we have to. The physical world is literally forcing the digital world to get disciplined. All right, Section 3, the era of evaluation and real enterprise ROI. Now, what's really interesting about this is how that new engineering discipline is translating directly into business success. The proof is absolutely in the production. Check out these 2025 outcomes from CXO Today, citing data from folks like Google Cloud and Y Combinator. 70% of large organizations reported actual real-world productivity gains, and 63% saw measurable customer experience, or CX, improvements. The key takeaway for us here? These are not just cute little pilot projects. These reflect real production deployments that had to justify themselves against actual business outcomes. Enterprise AI is finally providing real return on investment. Let's jump to Section 4, breakthroughs in key sectors, specifically medicine and law. Over in the medical field, the stakes are incredibly high. Stanford's Russ Altman highlights a really profound architectural debate happening right now, early versus late fusion. Notice the structural contrast. Essentially, early fusion relies on one giant model that mashes all data types together: DNA, RNA, proteins, the whole shebang. Late fusion, on the other hand, builds separate models for each and integrates them later. Why does this matter? Because in science and medicine, you need more than just an accurate prediction. You absolutely have to know how the model got there. Late fusion lets you open up that black box, so if some data is bad, you can just rebuild or swap out one module. It's a total scientific mandate right now. And because of all this rigorous work, we are experiencing what Stanford expert Curtis Langlotz calls the ChatGPT moment for medicine. Think about it. The old way of training medical AI was painstakingly slow and wildly expensive because it needed highly paid medical experts to manually label data, like marking a mammogram pixel by pixel. But now, New self-supervised learning methods are totally bypassing that bottleneck. By training on massive, high-quality healthcare data sets without needing every single piece manually tagged, we are seeing a huge leap in diagnostic capabilities right now. It's a real game changer for diagnosing even super rare diseases. And this brilliantly illustrates how the exact same kind of architectural rigor is transforming the legal sector, too. We've moved way beyond AI just drafting basic, boilerplate intake text. According to Stanford Law's Julian Nyarko, AI is now crushing complex, multi-document reasoning. This means the AI is synthesizing facts, mapping out legal arguments, and even surfacing counter-authority with crystal-clear provenance across multiple complex texts. It's not just can it write anymore, it's being evaluated by incredibly strict, standardized benchmarks. So we've got these massive models doing high-stakes work, demanding crazy amounts of physical infrastructure, which, you guessed it, naturally collides head-on with government oversight. Which brings us to Section 5, AI sovereignty and the geopolitical fallout. I want you to listen to this powerful quote from James Landay, co-director of Stanford HAI. He says, AI sovereignty will gain huge steam this year as countries try to show their independence from the AI providers and from the United States' political system. This is a massive trend for 2026, guys. Nations are waking up to the fact that data is power. They're pouring capital into building their own local large language models and running clusters right at home just to make sure their citizens' data stays securely within their own borders. And because of this global fragmentation, new regulatory frameworks are popping up everywhere. For developers and businesses, the era of moving fast and breaking things is totally over. The attitude of, oh, we'll handle compliance later, is a highly expensive position to take in 2026. Treating accountability, safety, and local governance as an afterthought, that's no longer a viable business strategy. It's a massive liability. So, the crucial point is this. If you are building in this space, here is exactly what you need to be paying attention to right now. In medical diagnostics, get ready for tightening clinical validation. In social media safety, platforms are under intense regulatory pressure, so platform-level safety tools are scaling up fast. In consumer electronics, AI integration is moving incredibly quickly, meaning strict latency and efficiency demands for hardware APIs. And finally, infrastructure planning. That water and energy footprint we talked about earlier, it is absolutely dictating data center availability and pricing on a regional level. All right, wrapping things up, conclusion, as civilizational choice point. As you've seen, AI has completely graduated from being this fun, experimental novelty into the essential infrastructure of our medical, legal, and consumer systems. But it brings immense physical and geopolitical challenges right along with it. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Will AI serve human flourishing or become an exploitation tool completely beyond democratic accountability? The choices being made right now in 2026 about governance, resources, and evaluation are setting the rules for the next decade. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, stay curious about our rapidly evolving global infrastructure, and I'll catch you next time.